All right, let's get it. Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia just might get ordered by the WBC as a final eliminator and potentially WBC interim championship. E-King Fight News. More on this guy. Alright, E-King Fight News. Shout out the boxing scene for the source material. Apparently, due to Keith Thurman pulling out of a to-be-announced fight on May 5th, he pulled out of a fight without an opponent. How you get injured for an opponent that hasn't even been announced? Someone's got to explain that shit, man. Someone's got to explain that one for Keith Thurman's side, but it might be a blessing in disguise because recently WBC president did something interesting. He ranked Danny Garcia ahead of Shawn Porter, Showtime Shawn Porter. And you know, I had some harsh words for Shawn Porter, but at the same time, you have to understand, he gave Keith Thurman the toughest of his career in a Fight of the Year candidate. Danny Garcia could not match that level of competitiveness against Keith Thurman. Couldn't match it. So, I give credit where credit's due. Shawn Porter is probably more deserving of a rematch than Danny Garcia. But Keith Thurman looks at Danny Garcia like food. And easy food as well. So, if we're up to Keith Thurman, he would be happy with the WBC's decision. At least that's my opinion. Anyways, the WBC are now in a pickle because it doesn't matter that they rank Danny Garcia over Shawn Porter or Shawn Porter over Danny Garcia. WBC considers them both mandatories, and now that Thurman's out of the ring, they need to crown an interim champion because that's just how boxing is. Keith Thurman should get stripped, as far as I'm concerned. Keith Thurman should get stripped of his titles, be named a champion in recess, and just fucking have other guys fight for the belts who want to fight for the belts. Because Keith Thurman, he ain't fighting for belts anymore, I'll tell you that much. This dude's on some other shit. You know, he's still trying to get over these, you know, I ain't gonna knock his injuries, like, you know, because, you know, even Terrence Crawford's in a situation where, so he's supposedly injured, and he's finagling his way out of a fight with Jeff Horn, so, you know, it is what it is. Some people use the injury in order to get out of a fight. I've never heard of a fighter use an injury to get out of a fight where you don't even know the fucking opponent, man. I don't know how you do that. So that's, to me, that's it's a red flag all over the place. So if the WBC ends up ordering Shawn Porter versus Danny Garcia, I would love to see that fight. I mean, even though I've had harsh words for Shawn Porter, I've maintained that that's really what the WBC should do, is order this fight. Porter, Garcia, you know, whatever. Put the paper championship on the line. Put the little trinket on the line. And let's make it happen. This is the de facto number one contender. The winner of this fight gets a crack at Keith Thurman. That I can support. But in order for this to happen, Danny Garcia needs to step up and take the fight. Because I know Shawn Porter been asking for it. So I'm sure he'd more than willing to oblige with the WBC's ordering of this fight. If they do. And it seems like Mauricio Suleiman, this is what he had to say. Unfortunately, Thurman has been injured again. He cannot continue as champion. He has not defended the title for more than a year. We had been consistent with him after the injury he had, but with his new injury, it is very possible that a fight is ordered for the interim title between Porter and Garcia. who are the two mandatory challengers. That's what Suleiman had to say to ESPN. As we know, Thurman pulled out of his fight against a to-be-announced opponent that they couldn't even find. I mean, Keith Thurman was supposedly going to fight Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas definitely had talks about it because it was just a known thing that Keith Thurman was supposedly fighting Jesse Vargas, and no one had a problem with it. And guess what? He pulled out of that fight. Pretty much, Keith Thurman pulled out of those negotiations, snubbed Jesse Vargas from the Showtime presser, right? Didn't invite him on purpose. Say, you know what? Fuck Jesse Vargas, man. I need some light work. That's what Keith Thurman said. I need some light work. So he was like, no, Jesse Vargas. I'm fighting TBA. Okay. Showtime has this exclusive presser to announce all these fights on Showtime. Keith Thurman shows up, has no opponent. Okay. So Keith Thurman, after that, then goes and says, you know what? Where's my light work at, man? What the fuck? This guy can't even book a fight for May. So is he serious about? He wants to push back a date and faint with another hand injury? Shocking. Anyway, Shawn Porter made waves the night of Brandon Rios, Danny Garcia. Shawn Porter stepped up to Keith Thurman, gave him a little bit of the promo work. You know, went face to face. You know, had a little stare down to Keith Thurman, and you know it was entertaining. Shawn Porter showed up in the ring with Danny Garcia, made some noise. Danny Garcia told him to get the fuck out of my ring. Oh man, that was dope. And it's on the channel, so that shit was dope. So hey, there's already some build-up for this fight. And why not? Why not make it happen? The welterweight division is pretty flat right now. Due to guys like Keith Thurman. And unfortunately, Earl Spence has his fucking, has guys ranked number 2 in the IBF ducking him. And, Earl Spence, he might be fighting Omar Figueroa in Texas. We know he's fighting in Texas. We don't know who he's fighting. Might be Omar Figueroa. Might not be. So we gotta wait and see how that plays out. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. And on the WBC side, Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia is a fight that is a no-brainer. I mean, Keith Thurman is stepping off. He's stepping out of the sport. Kind of like what Floyd Mayweather did. This is kind of like what Floyd Mayweather did when he took a semi-retirement. And he let Miguel Cotto and Antonio Margarito basically rule the roost, fight each other, and they basically took each other's souls on that night. And I mean, Cotto got it the worst. But that was a very tough fight for Margarito. And ever since that fight, if you actually notice, he hasn't been the same fighter since. Cotto took something from Margarito, and Antonio Margarito took Cotto's soul that night. And, it took Cotto a while to recover, and he did. And I'm happy he did, because he gave us a great rejuvenated career at middleweight division, where he beat Sergio Martinez. And then, of course, he blatantly ducked Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. But, it is what it is. If you're a Cotto fan, I mean, you got to be satisfied with the reign. It's unfortunate he didn't want to fight any other middleweights other than Canelo Alvarez, which is why Canelo Alvarez has some sort of claim to the middleweight crown. Considering what's happened as of now, Canelo withdrawing against Gennady Golovkin. It's a real shitty look for him. He fucked up, and he fucked up the card now. Now, Triple G Gennady Golovkin's fighting Spike O'Sullivan in a fight that, I mean, how many people want to see that fight? Honestly. Spike O'Sullivan? I can't even imagine this dude in the headline of an HBO pay-per-view and Jim Lampley having to say, oh, in the main event, here we go. Fucking Michael Buffer out there talking about Spike O'Sullivan. I don't buy that shit, man. I don't know. But it's happened. It seems like it's going down already. I mean, Spike O'Sullivan already signed his contract, man. He didn't have to read that shit. He just fucking signed it. It's like, fuck that. I'm getting paid. There you go. Gennady Golovkin. Is Triple G shook? Is Triple G part of the shook ones right now? You guys let me know what you think. He King Fight News. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel.